Good afternoon, good morning, 10:30 a.m. in Vernon, British Columbia. Hope you're all doing fine. I guess today's the Sabbath day. Yesterday was Good Friday, and tomorrow is Easter Sunday. So I would imagine people are celebrating that in different ways. But anyway, putting that aside today, I'm not going to talk about that too much today. I wanted to mention to you today that I woke up in the middle of the night last night dreaming about a situation, And I woke up really angry, cranky, and it was all about abortion. And I was going through all these scenarios and stuff, and it made me realize how important this abortion business really is to this world, and especially to this country. It's destroying it. People, I think, have been brainwashed into the idea that it's, a woman's right to do this, kill babies and do whatever. Just call them a fetus instead of a baby. And men who go along with it and encourage it and whatever, and pay for it if they have to. And then you have people like the Planned Parenthood who call it, health care, women's health care. That's devilish right there, because that is such a lie. But the problem really is, it really is murder and killing. There's no doubt about that. Because I'm convinced that when a woman gets pregnant, the man's sperm, the one that finally makes it into the egg, fertilizes it right there. And right there is the spark that starts life. And immediately after that, God gives it a human spirit. That happens most likely all at once, pretty well. Now, to say that you can get rid of that, it's my body and I can do what I want with it, that's a big lie. And then to say that it doesn't matter, that it's not a human or anything else, that's a big lie. It's just as human as you or I am. Instantly. Now, what that does to a country is, for the fact that I'm getting pretty old, in a couple of weeks I'll be 90 years old. When I look back in just this country, Canada, for instance, and I see the changes in this country right now, it's horrendous big change from where it was 70 years ago, 60 years ago, 50 years ago. This was a white race country, Christian country, basically. It was, I believe, set aside for the 10 tribes of Israel to expand. 10 tribes of Israel turned out to my estimation, and what I can find out, turns out to be the white race. I don't know where else they came from. And if you know how, just let me know. Anyway, the business of abortion and how it has changed in the last, even 15 years, 10 or 15 years, that's when it's got really hard. Killing. And up to kills as much now, I would guess, as natural birth. So it's killing the population of the country. Can't say it isn't. And it's changing the fabric of the country. It's changing it over. It's not, well, let's put it this way. White race women are the ones who basically in this country are the ones who promote abortion and get abortions. In other words, kill their own babies. And they're doing it with agreements and applause and, oh, isn't that great? How can that be accepted in a world? You know, the thing is, when somebody does that, they are murdering another Canadian, an unborn Canadian. He's alive, he's growing, but he's not out of the womb yet. And the whole business, which you cannot ignore, is satanic. It has to be satanic. You can't argue against that. You can't say it's a woman's right or this right or that right. It's absolutely against God's will for this world and for his people and for his family and for his children. Now, I can't see how they're going to get away with this at all. And men won't get away with it. Men could be even more responsible than the woman because he carries the seed. He plants the seed in the woman. And then he says, oh, go ahead and kill it. We don't need it. Or she says, I want to kill it. I'm not going to have it. Or the middle-aged wife says, I'm not going to have this, and interrupting me. And the 30-year-old woman working in the office says, you know, she's getting to be a manager or whatever. Oh, I can't have this to disrupt my life. And then the other ones who say, I have a right to have sex, free of consequences, just like a man. And that's what they demand. And the public gets bamboozled into that, and the next thing you know, all the politicians agree with that, and they destroy their country. They absolutely destroy the country. They kill their own children and bring in strangers. And they say that's fine. It's not fine. In God's eyes, it's not fine. And in anybody who agrees with God's way of this, it's not fine. Absolutely will create the wrath of God. I don't believe there's any way around that. And I think it's allowed, God allows it as a curse to a nation that does this. They destroy themselves. And he allows it. Because every single child that's aborted is already one of God's children. He says, don't worry about who can kill the body. Worry about who can kill your soul or your spirit. And they can't kill their spirit. So the ones who do abortion, promote abortion, will be held accountable. And I believe that. And, you know, it's not that I have anything to do with making laws or anything. But it just, I understand why God hates this. And hates it with passion that says there will be consequences. God's wrath will be the end winner on this. That's no doubt about that. Those who support abortion, mass abortion, like they do now, are going to be guilty in God's eyes. That's for sure. And if that's their choice, then that's their choice. But I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, because, well, how are they going to answer when Christ says, what are you doing about killing children? What is your explanation for that? And they're going to have to remember, God says you live so many years and whatever else, and then you die, and then you face the judgment, and then it's the judgment, and you will be judged. I will be judged. Every single one will be judged. I believe that there's no way in this coming world, that abortion will be abolished or anything like that, because the evilness of people, women's tendency to go along with Satan's biggest faults, which is jealousy and vanity, will continue on a great scale, and most likely more. And God will allow it. He will say, fine, if you want to do that, you're condemning yourself. So me saying that, I hate abortion and God hates abortion, and a lot of the people do too, is going to solve the problem. No. It's gone too far for that. People would rather risk their future life totally due to the fact that they will accept and promote abortion. You don't have to have an abortion to be in God's crosshairs, If you promote and you agree with abortion, you're in God's crosshairs. You're not going to get away with that. You are promoting death of God's children. They're not your children. I wish people would have the dream like I did last night about it. That might change their mind. But I suppose that's not going to happen either. So, people will say, well, you're very pessimistic and everything. Maybe. I don't know if you take it as being pessimistic. I take it as being factual. And it's a fact that people are killing all their children. And it's false. It's a dirty lie. It's a satanic deal. They don't believe, these people who do that they're not Christian people, or they're not people who believe that Christ died for them. If they believed that, they wouldn't dare do that, because they know that would be wrong. Anyway, Christ said to remember him, break bread, drink wine. Break bread, this is my body, he said. Drink wine, he said, this is my blood that's given to you. And if they did that, they'd think twice. I know that it's rare now that, people go and have communion, I guess they'd call it, yeah. And I believe that a person should be celebrating the Passover and not Easter. Easter is a devilish thing. I mean, what? Well, it's sun worshippers, one thing, and fashion hats and whatever else, and bunnies and eggs and kids dancing around playing chasing bunnies and egg hunts and this and that. And what could be farther from the fact that Christ hung on a cross and died for you? Is that how you celebrate that? Is death like that? That's a bad thing. That's Easter. Passover is Passover. Passover is when God passed over the people of Israel and said, "Put your blood around your door and I will pass over you." And Christ had a Passover meal with his disciples the night before he was crucified. And he told them this. That's a big difference. Life is pretty serious. There's no question about that, especially when you understand what's at stake. You're born into this world. You come into this world. You wake up and all of a sudden you're here. You don't know how you got here. You don't have a clue. You're there. You're opening your eyes and you're looking at these people and whatever's going on here. Pretty soon you learn to talk and walk and whatever. You die and you leave with nothing. So in other words, you go through this business of life, which I knew when I was 15 years old, that the only reason you're here is to make a decision, yes or no. Do you believe that God sent Jesus into this world to save the world? Yes or no? That's the criteria. If you're going to go into the next step, which is going to be a totally different world, and that does not have an end. This one is transparent deal, but it has an end. That's the right word. But anyway, it's all been done. We're in the plan, and this is the plan going on. And you can bet your dollar, laughs, whatever, that God knows exactly how it's going and when it's going, what you're going to be doing and not doing, what your neighbor's going to do. You maybe don't know, but he knows. And I could tell you that it is, if you once get understanding what happens to you after this life is over, you're right, life is over, that's a big relief. Because you're not in charge of it. But you can be told what will happen to you. And basically, read the book of Revelation helps a lot. A lot. I went to the Lutheran church for 60 years. They never even talked about the book of Revelation, not once. How do you like that? Well, I found out I didn't like that. Now, I'm going to say one last thing about abortion. It's devilish. If you believe in it, you are wrong. There is nothing more wrong than that. I hope you don't think that that's a good thing to do, that you're sucked in by a lie, because it is a huge lie. And that you can break away from that and realize that in God's eyes, you are very, very important. You are so important that he was willing to do anything to save you. And he did. With that, I would say to have a happy Passover. That's what I would say. Forget this stupid Easter bunny business. Anyway, I promise not to be this pessimistic and hard next time. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.